I'm Emily, and I learned the hard way that love can be a beautiful lie. 2 years ago, I thought I had it all: a perfect marriage, a charming husband, and a life full of promise. But when I discovered his secret, my world didn't just crack, it shattered. This isn't just a story of betrayal. It's a story of how I turned my pain into power, crafting a revenge so precise it would burn in his heart forever. My name is Emily, and this is how I made James pay for breaking me. 2.5 years ago, I married James, my college sweetheart. He was the guy who could make my heart skip with a single glance, his witty jokes and warm smile lighting up our late-night study sessions. Back then, he had this way of making me feel like I was the only person in the world. When he proposed, kneeling under fairy lights at our favorite cafe, the word yes slipped out before I could even think. We were that couple, Emily and James, the ones everyone envied, the ones destined for a perfect life. Our wedding was magical, with me in a flowing white gown and him looking like he stepped out of a movie in his suit. Our families danced until midnight, and we moved into a cozy apartment in the city, dreaming of kids, travel, and a house with a garden someday. James was climbing the corporate ladder as a marketing manager, while I ran my small graphic design business from home. Life felt like a fairy tale, and I was naive enough to believe it would last forever. But fairy tales don't always have happy endings. 6 months into our marriage, I started noticing cracks. James began staying late at work, blaming big projects and tight deadlines. His phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now always in his hand, locked with a password he never shared. When I asked about his day, his answers were vague, his smile tight, almost forced. I told myself it was just stress. He was ambitious, gunning for a promotion to senior manager, and I wanted to support him. I cooked his favorite steak dinners and planned quiet movie nights to help him unwind, but the distance between us grew like a shadow I couldn't ignore. One night, I woke up at 2 a.m. to find him in the living room, typing furiously on his phone. "Work," he muttered when I asked, but his eyes darted away, avoiding mine. A knot formed in my stomach, but I pushed it down, convincing myself I was being paranoid. Then came the moment that changed everything. While doing laundry, I found a receipt in his jacket pocket, a hotel receipt, dated for a night he'd told me he was at a team meeting. My hands shook as I held it, my mind racing with questions I wasn't ready to answer. That night, I waited until he was asleep and grabbed his phone. The password was still our anniversary date. Ironic, isn't it? My heart pounded as I opened his messages. There she was, Sarah. Her name glowed on the screen, attached to flirty texts, heart emojis, and plans to meet. There were photos, too. James with his arm around her, smiling in a way he hadn't with me in months. My world shattered. The man I loved, the man I trusted with my future, was living a double life. The pain was unbearable, like a knife twisting in my chest. I spent nights crying in the bathroom, muffling my sobs so he wouldn't hear. I felt like a fool, replaying every moment of our marriage, wondering where I went wrong. Did I love him too much? Was I not enough? But as the tears dried, something else took over. Anger, raw and unrelenting. I wasn't going to let James walk away unscathed. He didn't just break my heart. He broke my trust, my dreams, and my sense of self. I decided he would pay, not with shouting matches or petty fights, but with a revenge that would hit him where it hurt most. His pride, his reputation, and his carefully crafted image as the perfect husband and rising star. I became a detective in my own life, moving carefully so he wouldn't suspect a thing. I started gathering evidence, piece by painful piece. I took screenshots of his chats with Sarah, saved call logs, and even recorded a voicemail she left him, her voice dripping with affection as she called him baby. I found more receipts, dinners at fancy restaurants, more hotel stays, even a gift receipt for a necklace I never saw. Each discovery was a dagger to my heart, but also fuel for my resolve. I wasn't just collecting evidence. I was building a case, a weapon to dismantle his world. Then I went deeper. I created a fake social media account under the name Jessica, posing as a friendly colleague from James's office. I followed Sarah online, liking her posts and commenting on her selfies with just enough flattery to gain her trust. She had no idea who I was. Over weeks, I built a rapport, chatting about work, life, and eventually, relationships. She opened up about her amazing boyfriend, James, spilling details about their secret dates, their stolen moments, and their plans to make it official once he sorted things out. Every word was a fresh cut, but I stayed calm, my smile tight as I typed back, encouraging her to share more. I saved every message, every photo she sent, and every detail she thought she was sharing with a friend. It was like collecting bullets for a gun I was building. One I'd fire when the time was right. James's company was hosting its annual gala in 3 months, a grand event where he was set to give a speech and impress his boss, Mr. Thompson, for that coveted promotion. This was his stage, his moment to shine as the golden boy of the company. It was also the perfect setting for my revenge. I knew James's biggest fear was losing face. He thrived on being admired, respected, and the man everyone looked up to. I decided to take that away from him in front of everyone who mattered. His boss, his colleagues, his family, even Sarah. I spent weeks planning, every detail meticulous. I hired my tech-savvy friend Lauren to help me create a video. We compiled everything: the flirty messages, the photos of James and Sarah, the hotel receipts, and Sarah's voicemail. Lauren edited it into a seamless montage, professional but devastating, like a documentary of his betrayal. I also prepared a physical folder, printed screenshots, receipts, and call logs, ready to hand over if anyone doubted the truth. Meanwhile, I played the perfect wife at home. I smiled at James, cooked his favorite meals, and even helped him plan the gala's decorations, suggesting elegant touches to make the event unforgettable. He had no idea what was coming. I invited his parents, his closest colleagues, and even Sarah, telling her it was a surprise for James. She was thrilled, thinking it was a romantic gesture, clueless that she was walking into a trap. The night of the gala arrived, and the ballroom was a vision, chandeliers sparkling, tables draped in white linen, and the air buzzing with anticipation. I wore a stunning red dress, my smile hiding the storm raging inside. James took the stage, confident as ever, his voice smooth as he spoke about integrity, leadership, and the value of trust. The irony made my skin crawl. Halfway through his speech, I nodded to Lauren, who was stationed at the AV booth. The projector flickered, and the screen behind James lit up. His words faltered as the video began. Messages flashed across the screen. "Miss you, baby. Can't wait for tonight." Photos appeared. James and Sarah laughing at a cafe, his arm around her at a hotel bar. The voicemail played, Sarah's voice echoing through the silent room. "James, you're my everything. When are you leaving her?" The room froze. James's face turned pale, his hands shaking as he tried to speak. His boss, Mr. Thompson, sat rigid, his jaw tight. James's parents, seated near the front, looked horrified, their hands clutching each other. Sarah gasped, her face flushed with embarrassment as she realized she'd been exposed too. Whispers spread like wildfire, eyes darting between James, Sarah, and me. I stood at the back, my heart pounding but my resolve unshaken. "Emily, what is this?" James stammered, his voice cracking as he turned to me. I stepped forward, my voice steady as steel. "The truth, James. Something you forgot to tell me." I placed the folder of evidence on Mr. Thompson's table and walked out, my heels clicking against the polished floor. That night, I packed my bags and left our apartment. The divorce papers were already prepared, and I filed them the next morning. James tried calling, texting, and leaving voicemails begging for forgiveness, but I blocked his number. Sarah, humiliated by the public exposure, ended things with him too, unable to face the shame. His boss didn't just deny him the promotion. He demoted him, citing personal conduct issues. His colleagues whispered behind his back, and his parents could barely look at him. His perfect image, the one he'd spent years building, was shattered in a single night. I moved to a new city, a fresh start where no one knew my story. I poured myself into my graphic design business, turning my pain into creativity. The scar of James's betrayal still aches sometimes, especially on quiet nights when memories creep in. But when I think of that gala, the look on his face, the silence in that ballroom, the way his world crumbled, I feel a quiet satisfaction. I didn't just survive his betrayal, I turned it into my strength. I took back my power, my dignity, and my story. Revenge isn't always the answer, but for me, it was justice. And that's a victory James can never take away.